Hey, happy new week. And this is Valentine's Day week. And it's a time that we talk about relationships and love and how we feel towards one another and community. My name is Andrea Smith. I'm the pastor of West Church, and we are grateful that you are taking a few minutes either to worship with us online this morning on Sunday morning. And if you are doing so, I would love to hear from you in the chat room. Lindsay is manning the chat room. And would you just type your name and let us know that you're with us? Like when the song plays in just a minute, I go and I find out who's here, because it's important to us who we are in community with. Like, I'm just not talking to a magic camera. I know that there are people on the other side. And in this new age of doing church and doing ministry, COVID taught us a lot of things, and that digital worship and digital connections are very, very valid. And we value you as our online community. So I want to know that you're here. So just tell Lindsay that you're worshiping with us. Take just a second and click on that. Also, if you'd like our social media pages, our Facebook page, our YouTube page, follow us on YouTube. We would be so grateful. If you are listening to us on demand, we're grateful for you as well. And we know that the ways that you communicate with us are a little different. We have this email. It's called info@headingwest.org. We would love to know that you have worshiped with us, that you've checked out the podcast or the message online. Also, you can text us. We have a text number, and we would love to hear from you, especially if you are newer to the West community. We have a gift for you, and we'd love to hear from you. You can text the word welcome to the number that you see on your screen, or I'm going to read a number to you in just a second. But text the word welcome and let us know that you're here to the number 704-343-8955. 704-343-8955. So I'd invite you for just a minute to think about the question: do you prefer to be around people, or do you prefer to be alone? Today, we are looking at the faith lessons that we can learn from Ted Lasso. I don't know if you have seen Ted Lasso or not. It streams on Apple TV, and it just is one of the most amazing shows. Now, yeah, there's a lot of profanity in it, but if you can get past the profanity, then, I mean, just the lessons from the show are so powerful. The episodes will have you laughing and crying. A couple of times recently, like we did Squid Game and some other things, and I'm like, there are some lessons we can learn from this, but I'm not advocating watching this TV show. Really, if you want a feel-good, just lighthearted thing, I really do encourage you to watch Ted Lasso. And as I wrote about that on the Friday email that goes out to all the West folks, someone wrote me back and said, we all need a Ted Lasso. And I absolutely believe that everybody needs a Ted Lasso in their lives. And I would even encourage us to think about the fact that we have a Ted Lasso times infinity. It comes through the person of Jesus Christ, Jesus of Nazareth, Jesus the Christ, and he just mirrors for us this beautiful way of living. We live in a culture and in a time where, you know, being a part of a church is just not something people are sitting around going, I really want that. A couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to spend some time with some folks that aren't a part of a church community, and frankly, as adults, have never been. And so they were asking me about what I do and how West operates and functions, and they were like, you know, I wish that I'd had that community. And community is so important. Whether you like to be alone or you like to be around people, at some point, we all need some people in our lives that are going to surround us and support us. We need human beings here on this earth because human beings embody Christ, embody God for one another. And but we have this ultimate role model in Jesus. And that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to look at Ted and the way that he lived his life, and then tie it to some of the parallels that we see in the person that we try to emulate and follow, that person being Jesus. I hope that you find today's message meaningful and relevant for you in your life. Let us know that you are either listening to us on demand or podcast, or text your name in the chat room, and we'll get into the message in just a second.
Love is but the song we sing, and feels the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry. Know the bird is on the wing, and you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try and love one another right now. Some may come and some may go, we will surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try and love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try and love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both, it's there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try and love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try and love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try and love one another right now. Right now, right now.
So I'm going to assume that you have not watched Ted Lasso, just so I can give you a little bit of history about the show and who the people are, the main characters. First of all, there is a lady named Rebecca, and she and her ex-husband co-own this team, and it's Richmond, and they have had a pretty icky divorce, and so she inherits the team, and the husband, ex-husband, does not want her to be successful, and so there's all that kind of drama going on, and they end up hiring Ted Lasso. Now, Ted Lasso is not a European football coach. So when I say football, it's really our version in America of soccer. We call it soccer. And so he has never been a soccer coach. He was an American football coach. And so truthfully, he has no really idea how to play soccer. He doesn't understand what offsides means. And that's problematic if you're the head coach. And so they hire him to come over to England and coach the team. Now, the whole premise behind hiring him is they want him to fail. They want the team to just implode, and they want him to not be successful. And so they hire him, and everyone, they don't like him. They call him a buffoon. They talk about him behind his back, in front of his back. I mean, they just tear him down over and over again. And you can be like, well, why is this a show that we should want to watch? Well, and I've shared with you some parallels about Ted and Jesus. This is one, like, regardless of how society treated him, regardless of how the team members treated him, and his peers and his supervisors, Ted always took the high road. He always just lived out of this kindness that was just who he was in his core. We can pretend sometimes to be things that we aren't, but there are times, especially when we are facing adversity, that who we are in our core, that's what shows up. And that's what gives the indication of what we're made of, who we are, and what morality code we have, what ethics code we have in our lives, and frankly, who we choose to follow. Who do we want to be like? Who do we try to make our lives look like? And what drives us? So for Ted, regardless of how uncomfortable he was or how much he was made fun of or how oppressed, he always exhibited kindness. He always showed them love. He always showed up with just this amazing humility, kindness, and love. So I ask you, like, when you show up with folks, what do you show up with? Do you show up with agendas or thinking that it's all about you? Or do we show up with kindness and humility? Do we show up with grace? Ted embodies showing up with humility and grace. And so what you see happen throughout the first season is that he starts to grow on people. They start to see him in a different light. And he creates this sense of community and this sense of togetherness. I guarantee you that there are people in your life, in your lives, that surround you with this same humility and kindness and love and grace, people that always show up for you. So this morning, I would encourage us to actually think about those people a little. The people that show unconditional love and go that extra mile. I want us to think about how it feels to know that we're loved and to know that we have people that are on our side. It's such a powerful feeling to know that we don't ever have to walk alone. And just like Ted embodies in the lives of his teammates and his peers, that presence, that always showing up, it's a game changer. We have those moments, those pivotal transformational moments in our lives. And I would also encourage us to know that we are to be those transformational moments for others. There's one scene in one of the episodes. This is actually in season 2. Rebecca, who is the owner of the team, her father, whom she'd had a difficult on-again, off-again relationship with her parent. We all have those, right? Like, no parent-child relationship is ever perfect, and we all do the best we can and recognize that our parents have done the best that they could, but we love them, right? And so Rebecca's dad dies. He had been unfaithful to her mom, so she bore some resentment towards him about that, but it didn't make her love him any less. They asked her to do the eulogy at her dad's celebration of life service. And she and her dad had this song that they would sing together all throughout her life. Now, it's a powerful clip in many different reasons. And if you're not familiar with the show, it's important to know that the people that you sitting out in the congregation or the audience or whatever, the people that show up for the celebration of life service, a lot of them there are the team. The whole team ends up showing up. I couldn't show you the whole episode because that would take too much time, and I really do encourage you to go watch it. But as they're standing outside getting ready to go into the service, you see Rebecca standing there, and this huge bus pulls up. It's the team bus, and you see all the team members, getting off the bus, and she asked Higgins, one of the assistants in the team, well, what is going on? And he said, they came. And she's like, well, who came? And he said, they all came. And not only did they come, but they don't have on their soccer uniforms. They went out. It was a part of a joke in the show that hey, we're going to show up for Rebecca's dad's service, and we're not going to wear our trainers. We're not going to show up in our jerseys and our tennis shoes. We're actually going to put on appropriate clothes. And so, first of all, she's struck by the fact that the people showed up. She's moved by that. And then watch what happens.
I don't really know what to say. My father was, we're no strangers to love. You know the rules. And so do I. Full commitments when I'm thinking he wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. try to make you understand. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry, never gonna see.
Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up.
Never gonna let
you down. Never gonna run around. Desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie. Hurt you.
Never gonna give, never gonna give.
Give you up.
Never gonna give, never gonna give.
Give you up.
Thank you.
I didn't realize it when I planned for the Ted Lasso message to be on this weekend, but actually, 3 years ago to the day, I celebrated the life of my dad in Lenoir, North Carolina, and we did not expect him to, I mean, he was old, but we did not know that he was in that poor of health, and so his death actually came as a little bit of a surprise. And even though you prepare for the death of a parent and you know that that's going to happen, like, right, we're all going to die, when it happens, there's a finality and a sadness that comes with that. And I was in the middle of a much needed and am so grateful that the leadership and the staff of West allowed me to have 4 weeks off. I was just tired. It had been a long 10 years launching the church, and whereas it was an amazing 10 years, I mean, it was draining and tiring. And it came time to celebrate the life of my dad. Now, I want you to pause with that line of thought for just a second, and I want to tell you another story. So this past week, 2 weeks ago, I drove up to Ithaca to see my son and the future in-laws and my future daughter-in-law, and I get to have the honor of officiating and leading in their marriage ceremony. So we want to make sure we get it right. And so I went up there to spend time with them planning the wedding and the service and those kinds of things. And apparently spending like 12 hours sitting in a car was not conducive to my back. So like the second day that I was up there in the 18 inches of snow, like all of a sudden I couldn't move. And I'm like, oh dear, this is not good. Like I couldn't bend over. I had to squat down. I couldn't lay down. I mean, it was excruciating pain. So I ended up needing to go to a chiropractor because, you know, that it was not going to work to like just keep functioning as I was, and I didn't have my normal home resources around. So I went to this chiropractor, and you know, on that fill out form, you have to put like what you do for a living. I'm always a little wary to put pastor because you never really know how that's going to be received. Some people don't like it that I'm a woman, so they then get a little huffy with me. I mean, it just, you never know. So I put pastor, and I was meeting with the doctor, and he was showing me pictures of my spine and telling me, like, you know, what I need to do differently. And he's like, so you're a pastor? That's a pretty impossible job. And I said, well, yeah, it does sometimes feel impossible. I mean, you know, trying to reopen after the pandemic, and, you know, it's been challenging. And he said, yeah, but you have to deal with people. And he said, I am very active in a church, and I know that church can attract people that have agendas and are unhappy with other areas in their life, or perhaps they don't have power in another area of their life, so they use the local church to exert power and control. And I said, yeah, like homeowners associations. I think those are the two organizations that can happen. Like sometimes people, just really want to have a voice and use their voice. And I laughed. I said, yeah, I've been in ministry 25, 26 years. So yeah, I've seen people come and go that desire power and authority and using their voice for control. I said, but not this church that I have the opportunity to be in ministry with. I said, I promise it's different. And in that moment, when I'm talking with people about that, I think of you. I think of you worshiping from Kentucky. I think of you worshiping from Florida. Multiple families worshiping from Florida this morning. I think of you worshiping in Mooresville and Troutman and Charlotte. I think of you, and I think of what you've meant to not just me, but a whole bunch of people for many, many years. And I flash back to the day that I celebrated my dad's life. I mean, he was in his early 90s, and he had outlived all of his family, all 7 brothers and sisters, and he had outlived all of his friends. So I really thought it would be a very small, intimate graveyard setting. It was freezing cold, and it was an hour and a half away from here, and it was on a Sunday. And so I really expected it to be about 10 to 15 people. When we got out of the car and walked down to the place where my dad would be interred, the tent was surrounded with people. And they weren't just random people. They were people showing my family love and support. And all of the people there were people from a community of faith, either my dad's or ours. There's something to be said for showing up. And when we show up, believe it or not, we are being God for one another. We are being God's love for one another. There's this verse in John that gets misconstrued and honestly is used to keep people out of religion and out of faith and out of Christianity. And so honestly, I sometimes cringe when I think of this verse because it's so misused to make Christianity this exclusive religion. And we're going to talk about that in March and April through the season of Lent. That's the 6 weeks leading up to Easter. We're going to free Jesus from some of these constraints that Jesus and Christianity and faith have been placed in. And just a brief aside, Jesus did not start Christianity. That's a man-made thing in the ways of Christ. Jesus and his early followers called themselves followers of the way. But there's this verse, and it says, For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever should believeth in him, shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Now that verse has been misused to say, well, you better do this and you better pray this and you better do all these things and check all these boxes if you want to be a Christian and if you want to go to heaven. And that's so not what Jesus was here to teach. Jesus came so that he could embody God for us. And the God that Jesus embodied, God the Father, is the God of love. So when Jesus showed up and walked among humanity, he was showing up as God, as the divine. and also fully human, showing us that, hey, it's okay to question, it's okay to have pain, it's okay to know that even though life is horrific sometimes and just really, really sucks, you're going to be able to make it through because I'm making it through, because there's some power and some energy and divinity, and there's this something that's bigger than all of us, and it holds it all together. So follow me. Trust me, and let me show you the way. When Jesus showed up, he showed up for us as God. In Ted Lasso, over and over again, we see people showing up for one another. Everybody needs a Ted Lasso. Everybody needs a Jesus. And we have this amazing Jesus that's just a breath away from the most divine connection that you can ever imagine or ever want. Can you trust today that that love and that presence will always show up? I know sometimes it feels like it doesn't, but if we'll dig down deep, if we'll call for it, ask for it, yearn for it, and admit that we need it, that love always shows up. The other thing that happens with Ted Lasso throughout the entire season is that Ted always looks for the good. So if you've never seen Ted Lasso, he was the first gentleman in the very back of the church that started singing when Rebecca faltered on the word goodbye. Ted finished, and then that love spread throughout the room, and everyone spoke up. And everyone surrounded Rebecca with her love, their love. The other thing that Ted teaches us, that Christ also teaches us, is to always look for the good. Ted notices things about the players and about their needs. He pays attention to the details. Now, I am not a details kind of person, and it is why there are parts of ministry that I'm all right at, and then there are parts of ministry that you are better off if I don't touch them. I'm not a details girl about administrative stuff. But there is something to be said for being a details person with people. And if you want to be a person of love, always look for the good. And in doing so, notice the details. No matter how bad things were for Ted, he always looked for the good in the situation. And as I shared with you, they hired him as a joke. But then because of his kindness and his humility and his passion for the people, they become successful. They start working together as a team. He's willing to make hard decisions. There was one team member, and he never wanted to pass the ball. He always wanted to be a showboat and be the man. And so Ted benched him because he knew that a team is not made up of a bunch of individual, I want to be the man or the woman. A team is made up of people that come together and want to work together to achieve a common goal. And so when there were players that didn't want to do that, Ted benched them, even if it meant costing him a star player or costing him the game. So throughout season 1, they have this, escalating and getting better each time season. And it comes to the final match of the season. And if they win it against a pretty significant team, Manchester City, if they win, they're going to be in the Premier League, which is I don't know, an American version of the NFL. Like, they're going to be in this upper echelon league. And I want you to watch what happens as that game doesn't quite go the way that they had hoped that it would. They were tied until like just the last seconds. Take a look.
Manchester City win, and AFC Richmond's time in the Premier League is over.
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark.
We could woulda, coulda, shoulda all day long, but that's it's a tough loss. It's a tough loss.
It's over.
You know, I do want to congratulate Man City on their win, though, and their coach. Heck, boy, did he look sharp tonight.
And the sweet
You know, my man.
silver song of a love. Walk on through the wind.
Do you really think I want to come all the way down to London to watch my son pass the ball? You could have scored the winner. You're better than that, Jamie.
Be tossed and blow.
So look, I'm good. Thank you. Hey, y'all played a heck of a game out there. We may not have won, but y'all definitely succeeded. I mean, you gave the champs 90 minutes of hell. Zero, where you at? That dude had more saves than a Baptist preacher. Give it up for Zero. Yep. That's right. What about Roy? Roy chased down his grandson. Stopped him from getting an easy one. Now look, this is a sad moment right here. For all of us. There ain't nothing I can say standing in front of you right now that could take that away. But please, do me this favor, will you? Lift your heads up and look around this locker room. Yeah? Look at everybody else in here. And I want you to be grateful that you're going through this sad moment with all these other folks. Because I promise you, there is something worse out there than being sad, and that is being alone and being sad. Ain't nobody in this room alone.
So the best plans don't always go the way that they are supposed to. We tested both clips, and that one was blocked. So sorry. I'll go on and tell you what happens. It's a powerful message in the locker room, and Ted's like, look, I know that we're sad. I know that this has not gone the way that we wanted it to, but you gave your best. And prior to this, like, everybody was like so down, and they're like, we're never going to win against Man City. They're famous, they're renowned, and we're not. And we're the joke. And Ted's like, where's your hope? Do you not have any hope? And he's like, I'm not going to hear you say how bad this is anymore. We're going to go in this with the attitude that we can win. And then, they were tied up until the very last part of the game. And then Man City scores. Now, the young man that you see in the room with the door shut, his dad's berating him because the young man had actually learned from Ted, hey, it's okay to pass the ball and you don't have to be the superstar. But the dad wanted him to be the superstar. And so he's like berating him. Now, he even played for the other team. Used to play for Richmond, but then went to play on another team. And so Ted's standing there, and they're all so bummed because they were this close to having their dreams come true. Hey, so we are having technical difficulties and we are trying to brainstorm and solve those in the moment. So I am going to just stand here and talk to you for just a second because I just went on through the rest of the sermon, and then they're like, they can't hear you. So until I get confirmation that you can hear me, I'm not going to say a whole lot of content. We have gone to extreme efforts to try to make this work before this morning, tested everything, and then it just didn't work. So my apologies to you. Our tech team worked really hard to make sure that this morning's message was right. Team worked really hard to make sure that we could air this message to you today, and we are troubleshooting. Game went a different way, and had they tied, they would have made it into the Premier League. So their hopes and their dreams, they're just crushed, and they're just devastated. And so here they are. They didn't think they could win going into it, and Ted told them that their negative attitude was not okay, that they needed to have hope. And Ted, he always looks for the good, just like our model Jesus. And he looked for the good in the details, and he notices them. And so he knows just what to say in the moment. He doesn't disqualify their sadness. He owns that, yeah, we're bummed. And he asks, so what animal has the shortest memory? And the answer is a goldfish. And so his message to them was, when you start thinking about how sad you are that we lost this game and lost our chance this year to be in the Premier League, I want you to be a goldfish. I want you to forget the pain. Just learn from it. And then know that even though there's sadness, look around the room, because you are not alone. As long as you are a part of this team with us, we will never walk alone. And Jesus tells us the same thing. There's a powerful last message that he offers to his followers when he knows that his time with them is drawing to an end. And I invite you to hear those words. If you love me, I want you to show love by doing what I've asked you to do. Now, I'm going to commune with God, and God is going to provide you with another friend so that you will always have someone with you. This friend is known as the Spirit of Truth. Now, the godless world can't take this in because it doesn't have eyes to see, and it doesn't know what to look for. But you know already, because that Spirit of Truth has already been staying with you. In fact, it will even be in you. I'm not going to leave you orphaned. And you don't need to be afraid. I am in my Father. I am in God, and you are in me. And therefore we abide in God and this love forever. You're not alone. Valentine's Day is a time of love and flowers and all this kind of stuff, but there's a lot of people that don't have a person. And it would be easy to feel alone and like we don't measure up and like we're not enough. I would encourage us all to remember that wherever we are in our journeys, we have this amazing human, and it isn't Ted Lasso. The human's name was and is Jesus, who was just like us, flesh just like us, but also shows us the way to the divine and to love, and tells us that no matter what, we are never alone. So we're given that promise, and now we're called to take that promise and be that promise for one another. We are called to be Jesus with skin on for one another. And I hope you'll join me in doing that. Let us pray. Gracious God, we ask for your presence as we try to find our way, being with one another and showing love in a time and a season where we as a culture, in a world, we are tired and frustrated, and the last 2 years of the pandemic have been challenging and draining, and reacclimating into a society where we're used to being alone and now we need to be with one another. It has its challenges. So God, remind us what love really looks like, and remind us what grace and humility and kindness does when we offer that to one another. Thank you for being a God with skin on, and thank you for showing us the way through Christ. And it is in his name that we offer our prayers. Amen. Thanks for forgiving us for technical difficulties. Gotta love technology and online stuff as we figure out our new way. I hope you have a great week, and I hope you have a good Valentine's Day. And I hope you show love to one another. Go in peace.
Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? Or do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change, and in the bad times I fear myself.
Tell me something, boy. Aren't you tired trying to fill that void? Or do you need more? Ain't it hard keeping it so hardcore? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change, and in the bad times I fear myself. I'm off the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the ground. Crash to the surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shallow now. In the shallow. In the shallow. In the shallow. We're far from the shallow now. Oh, 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 oh.
Hey kids! Before we get started with today's video, we want to let you know that Amped is going to the pit. Join us for a free game of laser tag and blacklight mini golf on Sunday, February 27th at 3 p.m. Text the word PIT to 704-343-8955 to register. Enjoy today's episode.
Hey guys! Welcome back to Amped! I'm Lane, and today I'm dressed up as the Queen of Hearts because tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Oh yeah, so you guys better give out those Valentine's Day cards that we're asking you to make. And for this week's mission, we want you to take a picture of your Valentine's Day card and send it in to us. And it'll be awesome so we can see who you gave it to. And you guys can be as creative as you want with your cards. We're so excited that you're here today. So take a look at this awesome craft that Lindsay's gonna make for us.
Hey guys, welcome back to Amped Up Art. My name is Lindsay and today's craft is super secretive. What we're going to be making is a secret message Valentine. So all you're going to need for this craft is a piece of white paper, a white crayon, and it has to be white, some paint, some water, and a paintbrush. All right, let's get started. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your white crayon and you're gonna write a secret message. Now, when you start drawing your secret message or writing whatever you're gonna write, you're not gonna be able to see it on the white paper. All right, so once you write your secret message, what you're gonna do is take your paintbrush, dip it in some water, and you can pick any of the colors you want. I'm going to use pink. Then you're going to paint over where you wrote your secret message. And there you have it, my secret message. I wrote the word compassion in the middle. That's what this month is all about in AMP. Compassion is a way of showing love and understanding. So we want you to try to be compassionate this month. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey guys, I'm Lane.
And I'm Lindsay.
And we have some fun,
Exciting,
awesome,
amazing,
excellent news! Have you ever heard of a mascot?
Yeah, you mean like the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah! Or like the Bears. You know, there are so many different mascots out there, but mascots don't always have to be an animal. Like, there's the Atlanta Braves.
And there's the Green Bay Packers.
Exactly. So they don't always have to be an animal. They can be a figure or a person or anything out there. And guess what, Amped?
What?
We're gonna create a mascot.
No way!
What is it? So we're gonna make it a lightning bolt.
That is so cool.
And his name is gonna be Bolt! How cool is that?
That is awesome.
But we need your help.
We've got 3 options for you guys to pick out what Bolt looks like. We've got option A, option B, and option C.
The way that you guys are going to vote is text the number below or get your parents or guardians to text this number below, either Bolt A, Bolt B, or Bolt C. And whichever Bolt gets the most votes will become our new mascot.
That is so cool. You guys get to decide.
And I think that's all I had today, right?
Wait, isn't there something else we wanted to tell them?
Oh yeah! Bolt bucks.
What are Bolt bucks?
So, have you ever been to an arcade and like you earn some tickets from the game and you go exchange those tickets for a cool prize?
Yeah.
So that's what Bolt Bucks are.
Whoa!
Yeah.
What are the prizes?
So they're gonna range from gift cards to cool games to fun interactive things to do with your family and friends, and you can earn Bolt Bucks. All you have to do is send in a picture or a video or do a missions and let us know you did it, or remember a Bible verse or something. It's kind of gonna change from month to month, but you guys can earn Bolt Bucks too.
That's awesome. When does this start?
So coming in your March Amped box, you guys will get Bolt Bucks. Everybody's gonna get 1 Bolt Bucks to start.
And if you want your friends to join in on all this fun, just have them text the word amped to the number that you see below, and they'll get a March box with Bolt Bucks in them.
How cool is that? I am super excited about Bolt and our Bolt Bucks. I really, really hope you guys vote so we know which Bolt we can choose.
We're so excited, guys.
Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode of Amped coming up. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten in 3 days.
Go away.
I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten in 3 days. Here, have some pie. I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten in 3 days.
Here, I have plenty of food. You can have some.
Thanks. Excuse me, I'm really cold. I know. Give me that. Excuse me, I'm really cold.
Here, have some pie.
Excuse me, I'm really cold. Hey, I have 2 jackets. Here's one. Thanks.
I feel sick.
Ew, don't cough on me, germs.
I feel sick.
Here, have some pie.
I feel sick.
Oh, come on. I'm gonna make you some chicken noodle soup.
You have a minute to win it. Amp style.
Welcome back, kids. We got another installment of, you guessed it, our favorite segment, Minute to Win It. This week we've got, I'm king of compassion, by the way, if you didn't notice. We're all about compassion here at Amped Kids. And what we're going to do today is, the goal is for me to use my handy dandy straw, and I'm going to suck up. Be careful, kids. You might get some dust in your throat. You know, have a glass of water close by or something like that. Be safe always. We're going to always talk about safety first. So what we're going to do is suck on this, take that heart. Pick Me Up Valentine. That's what it's called. Pick Me Up Valentine. So we're going to get it going here. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Ooh, I got a piece of. Woo! Holla! All right, kids, have a great week. Do your best to be compassionate. Peace.
Wow, that craft and Minute to Win It were awesome. I don't know about you guys, but I only got 3 of those candy hearts in the second bowl, so I bet you guys did better than us. If you want to take a video and send it in to us to let us know how you and your family did with the Minute to Win It game, that would be awesome. So like Lindsay said, and in our Bible story, this month is all about compassion. So So if somebody's upset, you might not know why they're upset, but try to show them a little bit of compassion and see where they're coming from, okay? We're so excited that you watched this week's episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, and there's more to come. We'll see you guys later. Bye!
Follow us on Instagram at Amped Online to stay up to date on the latest news, air dates, and extra content. Check out our webpage at ampedwestchurch.com to watch full episodes, segments, get more information about upcoming events, and more. Also, text AMPED to 704-343-8955 to sign up for your free AMPED subscription box.